Ladies, this is going to be the only guide you need on ghosting. If you want the male psychological breakdown on why he's doing what he's doing, watch this video. You're going to have all clarity by the end of it, okay? So enough yapping, let's jump right into this. Ghosting. Why am I making this video? A lot of people have been writing me saying they have been ghosted, or guys are just popping, or just vanishing out of thin air. And it's like, well, I haven't heard from him in X amount of days, goes on to weeks, and it's just like, well, what the hell happened? I don't know what happened, Elliot. Can you give me some type of clarity? Well, that's this video, okay? So let me first break down context. And if you're a follower and you've been following for a while, I apologize, but context is so important, okay? It's a concept I believe I came up with. Now, I didn't come up with context, but in the dating sense. It's the layering of things you guys do and say over time that creates a serious vibe in the relationship that moves faster than the pace that he's ready, right? Which causes a man to get in his head, overthink, freak out, and pull away. In anything, the context isn't bad. Context is neutral. It's neutral. It's dependent on the perspective of the person. If you're happy, healthy, loving, and you want a relationship, context is good. You want to build it up and progress. If you're emotionally unavailable, love bombing, manipulating, or you don't know what you want, you thought you wanted a relationship but you don't, context is going to build up and it's going to feel like pressure, because if you keep on going with it as a guy or a woman, both people do it, you feel obligated to give the person something. It's like, well, if I keep on going along with this, it's telling her I'm on the same page when I'm not. And that's where this pressure comes from. So then a guy pulls away. So anything can be context. Consistency, all the texting, the words you guys say in the text or in person. The frequency, how long you've been talking, how many dates you have been on, hooking up, when you have hooked up, future planning, future talking, meeting friends or family, cuddling, leaving things over each other's house, saying you want a relationship or saying you want this or that, anything can be contextual. And again, I don't want to freak you all out to not do those things. It's very neutral. It's not good or bad. It's just dependent on the people. Now, with all that being said, back to the guy. When you're talking to a dude in the beginning, there is no context. It's just two people who like each other, and of course every single one of you watching this, fine as hell, right? He can't help but court you. He can't help but reach out. He can't help but text. He can't help but do all these things. He wants that attention. He wants that validation. It is courtship after all. He's going to do it. And so you guys are talking for a bit, and I always say the analogy I use is like it's a blank canvas. It's a blank canvas. There's two people talking to each other, liking each other, filling each other out, liking the assets each is offering, and likes the idea of it progressing. Because progressing means I'm getting more assets, I'm getting more time with the person, right? But for him to get those assets, okay, obviously there's a trade, there's a transaction, and that's courtship. I'm investing my time, my energy, my effort, my money, the consistency, the emotional openness or support, whatever it is, to the woman. And that, think of it as paint throwing on the canvas. Okay, but you're throwing some paint on I don't know what I'm doing here. Don't paint like that. But you're throwing some paint on the canvas, and in the beginning you don't see anything. You're like, okay, a little red here, a little blue here, a little green. Nice clouds, whatever Bob Ross says, happy trees. You don't see the image yet, but the more you do it, and it's always going to happen, context is inevitable, it's always going to happen if you're progressing, you're throwing more paint on this canvas, and it gets to the point where the picture is painted, and now you both see it, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's a lot of paint. That's actually a really vivid image. I don't know if I didn't sign up for this. Guy freaks out and pulls away. But so why does he ghost? Okay, there's two reasons men ghost. Men, well, if you want to get to the bottom of it, it's just cowardness. I think it's immaturity, it's selfishness, it's very unhealthy for both individuals. I think a woman would build a complex if she gets, not a woman, just anyone who gets, because women do it too, anyone who gets ghosted, and every one of you mother effers do it, don't act like you don't, but everyone has done it. But the person who gets ghosted, if it happens enough times, you build a complex and you build this insecurity because you seek validation, but you don't get it. And when you're not getting that clarity, and then the guy goes a day or two without talking to you, a day without talking to you, you freak out. It starts going into overdrive. I see it all the time, ladies. I've been doing this for 10 years. I see it a lot. Okay, so I guess like the easy answer is immaturity. And stuff like selfishness and things like that. And it's obviously not healthy for the person who is ghosting, because you can never have a happy, healthy, loving relationship without communication. You can get through a lot when you communicate, okay? But why do guys do this? One, guys hate confrontation and accountability. They don't like being held accountable, because what a lot of people don't want to admit, as a dating coach, I'll admit this. I'll tell my clients straight up, what a lot of people don't want to admit is it's their fault. Not you, not the one who's been ghosted. But when a guy is coming off strong, when a guy is saying, let's do this, let's do that, he's initiating, and even my clients would say, hey, this is moving pretty fast, slow down, are you sure? Something along those lines. He's like, no, I got it. You're just a cool chick. Whatever. And he just kind of like dodges it, and he just continues. But then it gets to the point where it's like, okay, he bit off more than he can chew. Put your money where your mouth is type of thing. And when he's freaking out, he can't take the blame. He can't say, hey, you know what, I thought about it. Yeah, I kind of moved really fast. Yeah, I know you told me so, but he doesn't want to take the confrontation and accountability. Okay, he doesn't want to take it, so he just dodges it, which kind of leads to the second thing, which is why I think a guy ghosts women because he doesn't want to put up with the argument, the take that's going to happen when she's like, really, dude? Like, really? We've been doing this for 2 months. Everything has been going well. You've been saying this. I even told you this, and you're like, no, it's all good. And now you're pulling this bullshit. He doesn't want to deal with it. He knows how the argument's going to go. He's in the wrong. People don't want to, like, it's almost like going to your boss knowing you effed up on a project and that you're in trouble because the guidelines were to do this, but you did not do those things, and your boss calls you in the next day and you know you're getting fired. He doesn't want to. It's like, well, why am I going? I already know I'm getting fired. He's just going to ring me a new one, tell me what I did wrong. I already know what I did wrong. So why am I even going? That's literally the best analogy, because that's what's going on here. A lot of the times a guy, and again, this is not healthy. Communication is key. I wish a guy would just, and women, it's both people, I wish people would just give the clarity on it, even if that means they're going to point the finger at you and say, hey, I know what you're saying, but I told you not to move that fast. I told you weren't ready. I told you this pace was quick. I told, so in a nutshell, that's why, ladies, guys hate confrontation and accountability. Two, I guess the first thing is it's the selfishness, the greediness, the lack of empathy, the insecurity, maybe a little sense of narcissism why guys don't do it. But then again, confrontation and accountability, and he already knows the end goal. He knows it's not going to work out. He can't give you that, which kind of leads to like a subcategory, actually, because I know a lot of guys, I talk to guys too sometimes, and they'll say this, that they know they effed up. And they know that now that they can't give the woman a relationship, but there's a lot of women out there who will fight for it, which I'm not saying is the wrong thing. I'm not saying, don't fight for something. But what I mean by that is, like, she'll try to convince him, well, we can slow it down. Well, we could do this, we can do that. But what he realizes is, it doesn't matter how fast we go. It doesn't matter if it's 100 miles an hour or 35 miles an hour. When we make a right turn down relationship road, the destination is a relationship, and I just don't want that with you. So that being said, ladies, I know that's a little harsh, but if you're going through it, I understand. If you want to work with yours truly, a one-on-one session to talk about this, to go over this, or a situation you're in, or if you want to become part of my community relationship roadmap, link is down below. You can have unlimited access to me at such an affordable price. It's crazy. You'd be crazy not to do it. Ladies, link is down below. That being said, I love you all. Take care and peace.